Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday. I'm Charly Arnolt, and I am so ultra excited to have you here with me today because yesterday, if you tuned in, I teased a very exciting guest that was being featured on today's show. And let me just say, the conversation went even better than I could have ever imagined. So here we go. I was able to finally get one-on-one with Alina Habba, the attorney for former President Donald Trump. She is a woman who handles her responsibilities with poise and grace, and she looks amazing while doing so. So let me not waste another minute. Here's my conversation with Alina. Okay, and here we are, everyone. This is an interview I have been so excited to do for months now. I have so many different questions I want to ask this woman. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce Alina Habba, attorney for former President Donald Trump. And Alina, like I said, I have so many different things I want to get into you with. But first and foremost, want to wish you congratulations. This is a huge win that we experienced this week for democracy, also for you and the team. It's not something we necessarily should have to celebrate, but in the state that we're in right now, it is something that we're all very excited about. But how big of a win was it that Trump will remain on the ballot in 2024 and that it was a unanimous decision that the Supreme Court ruled?
Yeah, I think you bring up two good points. Number one, it was a big win for America. He said it, I'm saying it. I agree with him completely. The team that handled this did amazing. I've always said we have the best team working with us. I'm so proud of them tirelessly working to make sure that we keep the Constitution in place, preserve the importance of the Constitution, separation of powers, and make sure that we get our country back on track, as you know. And I think the win yesterday really was a win for America. It was a win for you, for me, for our kids' kids. And that's really the focus. I always like to say that I'm Trump's spokeswoman, but I feel like I'm an American spokeswoman. I'm speaking to what I've seen and the injustice in the judicial system. And this was a very loud voice from the Supreme Court. They made the right decision, obviously, by the 9-0 determination. It was a pretty straightforward one. And I think the Constitution is clear on what happened. So states are not allowed to decide who you vote for. We decide who you vote for. And that's the way it goes.
That is the way it goes. Although there is one half of our country that is determined to take it in a different direction. Democrats, they're literally just so intent on bringing down President Trump. We see it on a daily basis. It has gotten so wild and insane.
Yeah.
And I just want to understand, Alina, I know you're a pro, but if I was faced with dealing with these lunatics on the level that you are on a daily basis, I feel like I would lose my mind. How do you keep calm, cool, and collected when you are confronted with all of these people and it's so clear the corruption that they're trying to force onto our government and also just the people living in this country?
Well, if I don't do it, and not for only for President Trump, but for what he stands for and for the American people. And that is, you have to be on the right side of history, and you have to go to bed having a good, clear conscience, knowing that you did what was right. I don't know how certain people do, frankly, in this country right now with what they're doing. It's disturbing, but calm, cool, collected. I have faith in the system. I have faith in this country. We've gone through a lot of historically turbulent times as a country and a nation, and I think that we'll turn it around. I think that if his poll numbers weren't so high, I'd probably be a little more concerned. But November 2024 will come. I hope it's not too late with the damage that's being done under the current administration, but I have faith that what we're doing is working. And if there's any indication of that, it's looking at how well he's doing in the polls.
We're used to seeing you in front of the camera. You always look 10 out of 10. The way that you carry yourself also just spectacular. What's it like when the cameras turn off, you sign off for the day, which again, signing off for the day is kind of like a theory that doesn't really exist. But what's it like? Like,
Yeah.
where do you go mentally? Like, I know for me, like when I walk in the door, I'm throwing on sweatpants first thing. Like,
Yeah.
what does it look like for you?
So I am a mom of young kids. I have an 8 and a 10-year-old. I try and carve out time to sit with them. Dinner is important to me. I definitely always try and put them to bed, even if that means that I fly to Florida and turn around and get on a plane the same day to be able to put them to bed, or at least be there when they wake up. I've done that regularly. I travel 3 or 4 times a week. I think that you have to protect your peace. What I do, what I've found, is not reading the garbage helps. Originally, I used to get very bothered by it, and now I see it for what it is. If you really have the energy to send me a mean email, a mean tweet, and I couldn't even imagine looking up somebody's lawyer to troll them, but that's a reflection on them, not me. So I think with that mentality, it's helped me deal with the public portion of all of this. But I think my voice has been helpful. I hope it's been helpful. I know that when they're not in the courtroom and the American people need to know what's going on outside, I try and make clear what is going on inside. So I think my role is an important one. I love my job. I love who I work for and with, so it makes it a little bit easier.
I also love who you work for. And I love the fact that he has a woman representing him and so publicly. I think it says a lot about what he stands for and about the direction that he hopes to take this country and the rights that he wants to give to women and other people alike. But you do have to, you have a balancing act. You just mentioned you have a family, you have this career that takes so
Yeah.
much out of you. What is that balancing act like? I know you just said flying across the country multiple times a week, but what else does it entail?
A lot of mom guilt.
Yeah,
Look, I have a shopping problem.
me
and
too.
but it's been a cathartic. That's what I do when I want to get my mind off of something. I'll go wander around and just look. I like to
Where do
just
you
wander
shop?
around, take a walk. Where don't I shop,
Yeah, good
Charly?
point.
Where don't I shop? I shop. I have a shop. I literally it's a funny thing. People go to the gym. I don't particularly like the gym. I never have. I have my poor husband, I have a serious shopping issue, and it gets my mind off of things when I just want to escape. But honestly,
You're
I
like
like to
Saks is the
renovate.
electric company in town.
I know.
You have a really
Listen,
high electricity bill.
there you go. There you go. But I'm definitely helping the Biden economy that is not doing so well. I'll tell you that much. If I've probably single-handedly helped it tremendously, but
Yeah, right.
you have your outlets. What are your outlets? I don't really watch TV because I tend to make the TV that I watch. So I'm not, I know the stories on those. I'm not a documentary person. I be with my kids, be with my family. I go to church every week. I do CCD with my daughter. I do things like that, and when I have time, I shop.
Uh, yes, I also do the same thing. And you were raised Catholic, I think I read.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
what you still practice?
Yes.
Catholicism? Okay,
Yes. Yes.
same here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just mentioned something. You don't like working out. I
No.
am shocked because Alina, I have to bring up the bikini photo that was posted of you
Oh
several
my
weeks back, where you
God.
look like a complete rock star.
Yeah.
And I remember people were just losing their minds, like, oh my gosh, what kind of woman would be seen like this? It's like, well, a woman who's poolside would be wearing a bikini. Logically, that would
You
make
know what
sense.
I love when I'm 39 years old. I am not dead yet, and
Yeah,
I'm most certainly not going to wear a suit to the pool. I
please.
am entitled to be a human being sometimes and wear a dress that's maybe a little shorter than what I would wear to court, but I always think I dress tastefully. And to anyone who cares to make comments on what I wear, find a life. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But no, I don't work out. I'm pretty sure that was an edited photo. I looked at it and I was like, I don't think I look like that. But I
Sometimes the lighting can do and angles can do wonders. You know what I mean? It's just
you
all
know,
about the lighting and angles.
I was at the pool the other day. I'll share a story. And I was sleeping and I was in a bathing suit, obviously, with a friend of mine. And her and I were taking a nap like you would on a Sunday. And I woke up to a person videoing me in my bathing suit taking it. I was like, oh, here's the
So
next
weird.
bikini shot. But whatever. It's funny. My poor husband had to deal with that one, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
So I imagine were you napping at Mar-A-Lago?
Yes, I was
Okay, so
napping. I'm a member there.
are there rules in place, like no videotaping or like
Oh,
you.
yes, yes. No,
So
it was
these
a guest.
people
It
were
was not a
just,
member. It was
yeah.
a guest. And you know what I always say? It's like seeing like going and seeing going to Disneyland and people get excited and they're like, oh, there's this person, there's that, and I don't mind. I think there's a little bit of an intrusion problem in life that people have, but I'll be honest with you. I think it's the kindest thing when people come up and support me and ask for a picture. I think it's lovely. I totally embrace it. I welcome it. Doesn't bother me at all. Sleeping in a bikini, maybe not so
Yeah,
much.
that's a little creepy, but we'll give them a pass.
We'll
They,
give them
they
a pass.
probably didn't want to wake you up and formally request the
Yeah,
picture.
they were very nice
Yeah,
about it, but yeah, it
for
happens.
people that don't know, for people that have never been to Mar-a-Lago, what's the culture like there? Like, what's a day in the life like at Mar-a-Lago?
I think that it's very patriotic, to be honest, because everybody that joins there is obviously most, I would say, are supportive of the president. I don't think all are necessarily, but it's a beautiful place. It's not worth 18 million, although the judge would like to say so. It's a historic, beautiful property that Marjorie Post had, and he has really spent so much energy preserving it, caring for it, improving it. It's a beautiful club and home, and it's his home, and you're welcome into it. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's from beach to intercoastal. It's just lovely, and it is incredibly private, which is lovely too. It's a special, special place. I'm happy to have you come and join me for dinner one time,
I
Charly. You're my
I
guest.
I accept. I will be there. That sounds amazing. Speaking of food, do you do any cooking yourself? I know people
Yes.
dine out a bunch, but tell me about your skills in the kitchen, Alina.
I have skills in the kitchen. It is shocking. I like to cook. I do like to cook when I have time.
You're like, I
Um,
love cooking, don't like working
don't
out.
go to the
So
gym.
wherever the
No.
food goes, we don't know, but okay, keep going.
I have a friend that told me they need to bottle up my genetics and sell it and they would make a fortune. I have real my mom is in incredible shape and she's obviously older and she's a beautiful woman and I'm lucky that I've inherited her gene pool because
Yeah.
I am very lazy when it comes to the gym. But yeah, I cook. Pasta is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. I could eat it all day, every day. I do cook some Middle Eastern food as well, obviously with my Middle Eastern roots, but I like to cook everything. I make tacos, I make whatever my family
Um,
wants. Yeah.
okay, so your Middle Eastern ancestry you just spoke about. Your parents
Yeah.
are both immigrants from Iraq,
Yes.
which is incredible. They relocated to New Jersey, which is probably why you love to make pasta, right? You've got all the Italians surrounding you in
Yes.
Jersey.
Yes.
Actually, I saw you grew up in Summit, right?
I went to school in Summit my whole life. Yeah, 15 years at an all-girls school in Summit where
My
my daughter goes.
my ex-boyfriend from college, his family lives in Summit. So I've spent time in Summit.
Oh, nice.
Not recently, but yeah, when I was in college, we would go visit his parents. So it's such a beautiful area.
Yes.
The daughter of immigrants. I mean, I know all parents are proud of what their children are able to accomplish, but especially immigrant parents. They came over here searching for a better life for themselves, searching for a better life for their children. And what you have been able to accomplish, I can only imagine how much they dote on you. What are your parents? I mean, I'm sure every day they're like, oh my gosh, I saw you on TV. I mean, that's what my mom does. I'm like, Mom, you see me on TV every day. Like
Yes.
it's not special anymore, but I know how parents are. What do they say to you?
The same thing. They're worried too. They worry, my role on TV is obviously a little bit more of a polarizing one, and they worry. They see mean articles, they see things like that, but they're parents. I mean, how is any parent going to be? They're proud and they worry every single day. That's what parents do. But I'm so blessed. I have amazing parents that everything we do, it's a family discussion, a family decision. They're great people. They've been so supportive through many ups and downs, and definitely there are down days. There are good days. There are bad, but they're always there for me. So I'm very blessed.
Now, I mean, I know you have a lot of pressure on you, and I'm sure sometimes, I mean, I know for me at least, sometimes it's hard to hold it in. Like, do you ever have your moments where you just kind of feel like you're falling apart a little bit, or you just need a moment of release or an outlet of some sort? Like, do you rely on your mom for that, or how does that work?
Like I said, I have a great family. I have a really small, close knit group of friends. I used to have so many people in my life that I would share with. And one thing that this role has taught me is less is more. I have really quality friends that I've known for most of my life. And if I don't know them, I grew up with their spouses and et cetera. And we're just very private out here. I like being where I am in Bernardsville because it's quiet, because it's not high profile, and it's my retreat. So that helps, of course. But do I have moments? Of course, everybody has moments, although I'm more of a yeller than a crier, not surprisingly.
Yeah, of course you are with your, I mean, Middle Eastern women. I'm an Italian woman, so I understand like yelling. It's all in, it comes from a good place. Just let me get it out.
Yes,
The world will be
exactly.
a better place if you don't make me keep it bottled in.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so you have quite the history. I mean, I think, probably had moments where you didn't know what you were ultimately going to end up doing. Law
Mhm.
school was, where you ended up, and then obviously working your way up in the field of law. But I saw, which interested me, and back to the subject of you loving to shop, you actually worked in fashion for a couple of years.
Yes. Yes. That was my favorite job. I
Yeah.
loved
How,
that
okay, so
job.
where did that come out of? You worked for Marc Jacobs. Like, talk to me about
Did.
you going from college to fashion,
Yeah.
and then something happened and then
So
you pivoted.
yeah. No, I'm happy to. I graduated college a year ahead of my class because I'm an overachiever, and I went to Lehigh, which I loved, in Pennsylvania, and I always loved fashion, shopping, clearly, and went to work for LVMH, which is Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. It's the parent company that owns Marc Jacobs. So I worked for Marc Jacobs, which is under that umbrella. And I got this great job as a production assistant. I worked under some amazing people, Carolyn Rizzoli, Liz Frazier. They're epic, and they're really industry women that are tough and have been in it. They're still in the industry. And they were the heads of the company, the senior vice president, the president. There was at one point, I was in a space with Liz, who was the vice president of the company. And I got to learn so much from her. She's really amazing, and I never speak about her, but she was tremendous. And to be around strong females in a corporate setting, working like that was amazing. To be around shopping was maybe less than amazing because everything I made I spent, but it was really a beautiful job. I loved that job. I switched into sales at one point, and then I decided to go to law school as I had always wanted, and here I am.
Okay, so that once you got to law school, it was no looking back. I mean, you felt like that was your
No, I
destiny.
wouldn't say that. I don't
Right.
think law school is as glamorous as
No, no,
working
for
in
sure not.
fashion, but I decided I wanted to be able to afford the bags that I made
Yes,
as
very
opposed to make
important.
them. I wasn't making very much. So I was, I was driven, and ever since I was little, I wanted to be a lawyer. So it was time, and I did that. But no, I have, that was one of my best couple years in my life was working there. I really had a good time. I loved it.
Well, I know once you got into law, you had a couple of high profile cases and wins that really helped to elevate your status. At what
Yeah.
point did you first come into contact with President Trump, and how did it occur?
I'm a member at Bedminster. I was a member at Bedminster since 2019. So you see the president. He lives there in the summers. His kids, their kids go to camp with my kids. So it's, you're in the same world. But I started working with him. The first case was in the fall of, I'm going to get the year wrong, a few years ago. And he had assigned me a case. I had to interview and went through a process. And I was lucky enough I was vetted by the Trump Organization, Eric Trump, the general counsel, the president, of course. And they retained me like they retain anybody else. And I remember that day vividly. I was hired and given a case, and I was very successful. I think we got the case dismissed in a few months. It had been going on for years by prior counsel.
Wow.
And
Go
I just came
you.
in very aggressively. Yeah, well, I came in aggressively. I countersued. I did, you have a lot of energy with any client that gives you a new case. It's exciting. It's like a new baby that you get to try and work on. So, and then it kind of went from there, to be honest. I think the story speaks for itself. Everybody can read about my story with him and how long I've worked with him. But yeah, it's been a blessing.
Anything since working with Trump that you yourself have been surprised to learn about him, or you think that if people had a little bit of a glimpse into his everyday life, they would be surprised to learn about him?
Yeah. He's in a, when you don't know who he actually is, he's incredibly, it's like a bigger than human person, right? And then you see him, and I remember when I was at the club, you saw him, but you kept it, you're not going up to him and chit chatting. But he is such a real person, such a nice, kind person. He knows if you're having an off day, he cares. He is incredibly kind and generous. And you see that with how he is with everybody. I mean, he could be exhausted and have done 3 rallies, 2 flights, whatever, and will get
I don't know
off
how
the
he does it.
plane and
Yeah.
smile and take pictures with police officers, firemen, whoever, and just really truly appreciates them helping him and always takes the time to walk over, shake hands. And I know there's pictures of it, but that is actually who he is. That's not who he is for the cameras. That's who he is. And I wish, I love saying who he actually is, because I don't think the world sees all of that because of politics, but he's kind. He's just very kind person, very kind person.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had an opportunity to meet him on a personal level through Dana White because I work for UFC as well.
I
I
love
actually,
Dana.
yeah, and you were there actually. I mean,
I
it was this
love
year, it was the
Dana.
summer, but we didn't get a chance to really talk at that point. But it was
Yes.
so interesting to sit there and hear him share stories. And there's no cameras, there's no one to impress, and he is just exactly what you'd expect him to be.
Yeah.
He is, and that's like that's my favorite type of person. I mean, I love authentic, genuine people. So I was really happy to witness that firsthand.
Yeah.
Okay, something else we know about Trump, he loves his Diet Coke, he loves his fast food. Alina, I know
Are you
we've talked
trying
a
to
lot
get
about
me in
food.
trouble?
You know I'm a foodie. No, I'm just asking, are you a fat, do you indulge also with him? I mean, I'm sure there's some
Yes, I
like
do.
busy day out of court where you gotta choose,
I
where are you
love,
going?
I love McDonald's.
Me too. I love it.
McDonald's. I love McDonald's. I just love it. Yep,
Me
I'm a
too.
McDonald's girl. And if I could, I would get I would hit up McDonald's and Burger King and get the fries from one and the burger from the other. That's the kind of person I am when it comes to food.
Okay, wait. So the fries from McDonald's, obviously, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you're
And I would go to
interesting.
Burger King and get the burger. I would combo it up if I could. And I have done it, by the way, before. I don't put it beneath me.
No, no, no. I definitely like tacked on McDonald's and Taco Bell together in same day. Like
There
same
you go.
that has happened. But I am
There you
McDonald's all the way. Like people ask me to recite my McDonald's order. I mean, I have it like this off the top of my head. Double cheeseburger, medium fry, large Diet Coke, ice cream, fudge sundae. Like that's my order. So you said the burger, the fries, anything else that
uh,
you would.
no, I'm a Big Mac. I would eat a Big Mac. I can eat a lot. I can eat a lot. I like to eat.
Well, I'm
It's
excited for our upcoming dinner. We can see who eats more. That'll be
okay.
a fun
You
night. We'll probably
got
be
it.
rolling each other out of the restaurant. Um, Listen, you are so fascinating, but just doing some introspection. Do you ever go to bed at night and say, wow, this is my life? I would never have imagined. I know you've worked hard. I know you're type A. Everything you've gotten up to this point, you completely deserve. But do you ever just sit back and think, what is going on here? I
Mhm.
mean, this is the coolest life I could have ever drummed up.
Yeah, it doesn't seem there are days I have to pinch myself. I'm not sure, and then whenever I need a piece of humble pie, I just go on Twitter and read the trolls and remember how many people hate me. But, you know, I mean, I'm joking, but the truth is, yeah, no, it's amazing. And I really owe it to President Trump. I think that he has been incredibly supportive. His voice has given me a voice, and I am always grateful of that. And I don't like seeing people that um, use people and look, no matter what happens, and who knows if I'm always going to be working with President Trump, I would always say that I don't think I know I couldn't be where I am if it wasn't for how much he's him and his family, frankly, have been so kind and supportive, and the Trump organization as well. So, I'm a lucky girl. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I love my job, and I hope to be making a difference for our kids.
Well, you certainly are. And I guess one thing I want to ask before I let you go is what piece of advice were you given along the way that really has resonated with you? And what piece of advice would you give to the younger generations, especially maybe young women who see
Mhm.
themselves one day being in the position you're in?
Yeah, be humble. Be humble. Whenever anyone stops me, whenever, those moments are when you have to be the most humble. Um, I'm a fighter. When I'm an advocate, when I have my lawyer hat on outside of a press conference, that's very different. I'm in fight mode and I'm representing my client. I'm not representing myself. But when people stop me, when I get asked to go on interviews, I try and make time. And the truth is that I always, I believe in God, number one. I believe that there's something bigger than myself. I find that people that don't have a lack of a moral compass, and this country, I think, needs a little bit more of that right now for our kids' sake, so that they feel confident and they stay humble, because this is God's plan. It's not my plan. I'm just here for the ride, doing the best I can, and gonna try and, be the kindest person I can while I do it. So yeah, that would be my advice. My father always used to tell me, be kind. I always say, be humble. For me, with all of the noise, I try and stay humble.
Yeah, that's same with my parents. Be a good person is kind of what
Yeah.
they've always preached at the center of it all. And I think
Yeah.
if you can do that, no matter what else you're doing, things
Yeah.
will go all right for you. So,
Yeah.
Alina, I'm fangirling a little bit right now. I'm not gonna lie. I remember walking up to you at the New York Young Republicans gala, and I was like, "Oh my God, Alina, you looked amazing in your bikini photo." I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I just said that. Anyways, seriously, I'm so happy to have finally been able to chit chat with you, and I can't
Thank you,
wait to do it
Charlie.
again. And
I
for
can't believe you got out my fast food story. I'm going to get in trouble for that. The fast food, the shopping problem. I mean, not that anyone didn't think that was an issue, but
you just
no,
became that much more relatable, let me tell
you're
you.
right.
So,
You're right.
well, again, thank you so much. Again, congratulations to you, the whole team. Amazing news for our country as a whole. And I can't wait to talk to you again. And I know more good things to come in the future for you and also for President Trump. So thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you for having me.
Again, a huge thank you to Alina Habba for making the time to come on the show and share some of the details of her life that she has not shared yet with anybody else. So a big thank you. And also just to say the level of respect I have for this woman, truly unbelievable. I really admire how she goes about her day-to-day life, how she's able to fill all of the roles that she has as a wife, a mother, and also an ultra successful attorney for who I hope is our next president here in the United States once again. So, with that being said, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Another show coming your way tomorrow. In the meantime, make sure you're following me on social media at Charly on TV. Have a fantastic Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow.